Apple is gonna increase prices. Yes, MacBook Pros, iPad Pros, all of these devices are increasing by around 20%. So, should you still buy them? I own several of the products that Apple is actually increasing the price on. MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, MacBook Neo, MacBook Air, iPad Air, all of these devices are increasing their prices. The MacBook Neo started at $600. Now, with a price increase of $100, 17% starts at $700. Next, MacBook Air costed $1,100. Now, with a $200 increase, around 18%, starts at $1,300. The MacBook Pro started at $1,700. With a $300 increase, another 18%, starts at $2,000. The iPad Air started at $600. Now it moved up to $750. $150 increase, around 25%. The iPad Pro, $1,000. Now $1,200, another $200 increase, which amounts to around 20% increase. This is insane, guys. Like 25% increase on very expensive products is actually a lot. So should you still buy these MacBook Pros, these MacBook Airs, and do my recommendations change after this price increase by Apple? The justification from Apple is quite simple. The increase of the chips, the increase of SSDs, the overall cost that these parts have gone up a lot in the last year. And so Apple is actually making these products more expensive to cover those costs. Is that true? Well, I think it is. I don't think this has anything to do with tariffs, with anything to do with the Trump administration. This has to do with price increases in technology in general. But now the question is, should you buy these more expensive products? Are they still worth it? Or should you buy lower tier or even other brands? Well, the question is quite simple. Starting off with the iPads, the iPad Air is way more expensive now, starting at $750. Now, it actually justifies going for the base model 10th generation iPad if you want simply the base model iPad. Don't buy the iPad Air if you want the basic iPad for your everyday needs. That's too expensive now. So I think that now you buy the iPad Air if you want an iPad for students, for work, and you don't need the extra features on the iPad Pro. The only reason you buy the iPad Pro right now, if you are a professional, if you need these 120 Hz, if you need these Apple Pencil features, if you need this incredible thin design, that's the only reason. But you actually need to have the money. Don't buy it just because you can. Now, this is a very, very expensive product that most of the time does not justify the $1,300 that it now costs. So be very, very careful with the iPad Pro. This is a very expensive product. I love it. It's so thin, so lightweight, so easy to carry around. It has an amazing design. It has the USB-C so powerful. It has the front-facing FaceTime camera right here on the horizontal position. It has an amazing OLED display, the M4 chip, now the M5. And this is an amazing product. But it's too expensive. Right now, for the price, I think you can get a lot better, specifically with the MacBook Air. And now, going for the MacBook lineup, oh boy, this is bad. Because the MacBook Neo, Apple's best value machine, started at $600. On education discount, $500. Now, without a dedication discount, it costs $700. It increased the price by only $100. But that's a lot for a $600 computer. So now you pay $700. Is it still a good deal? Awesome deal. Still an amazing computer. But now it begs the question, should you buy the MacBook Neo or an older M3 MacBook Air? Those computers' prices are still the same. Maybe for around the same price you can get the MacBook Air or a bit cheaper. So go into the used market, go into the refurbished market, try to see if you can find cheaper machines. The MacBook Neo is still an amazing, amazing computer with an amazing hardware, amazing display, amazing keyboard, trackpad, and still, for that price, it's incredible. It only has the 18 Pro, but I think for most people, that's enough. So for the MacBook Neo, my recommendation stays, still the best computer for most people. As for the MacBook Air, well, the story is different. It now starts at $1,300. That's crazy. I mean, $1,300 for the base model 13-inch MacBook Air is insane. With that money, you could have grabbed the M5 MacBook Air 15-inch, like 6 days ago. So, I know, it's bad. I'm so sorry if you haven't bought a computer. If you have bought one like last week, you are so lucky. But you can find these machines refurbished with the M4, even M3 chips for a bit less. And so I do believe still they are amazing value. But buying it new, I know, buying these machines new might be a better option because these computers, although they have an amazing value, they have an amazing hardware, amazing display, amazing keyboard, With the base model, you only get 512 gigabytes of storage, and you get, I think, 8 gigabytes of RAM, or you get 16 gigabytes of RAM. Still, they are the base model. $1,300 is quite a lot, and I think you are better served buying last generation with the same amount of RAM, the same amount of storage for a bit cheaper. I think that the MacBook Air is still a good value computer, but before it was so incredible. Now it isn't as good. The one thing I think you shouldn't buy right now is the 15-inch MacBook Air, because it's now on MacBook Pro territory. MacBook Pro being the last generation MacBook Pro, not this new generation, because this new generation now starting at $2,000 with the M5 chip. That's completely insane. Don't buy that computer. Definitely not worth it. I mean, $2,000. With $2,000 before, you could have bought the M5 Pro, which was a much, much better machine. This is quite insane, and so I don't think you should buy the M5 MacBook Pro at $2,000. Go for a refurbished M4 Pro, M3 Pro MacBook Pros. They are much, much better. Not the M3, the M3 Pro or the M4 Pro. These are the Pro versions of the chip, much faster, much more powerful, with much more GPU cores and much better performance. So buy those machines if you want to spend $2,000. Obviously, the M5 Pro, the M5 Max also increased their prices, and so those are professional computers. Those who are a professional, you need to justify the machine. Go for it. But I think you can get also by buying the M4 Pro or even the M4 Max computers refurbished. Again, always look to the refurbished market, because right now, with these price increases, they will probably take a bit longer to increase their prices too. Go check them out before they go up. What about the iPhone? What about all of the other products like the Apple Watch and the AirPods? Currently, Apple hasn't increased the prices on these yet, but I do expect we are going to see one. In September, Apple is probably going to raise the prices of the iPhone 18 Pro, 18 Pro Max, the iPhone Ultra, and obviously the Apple Watch Ultra, and the AirPods Pro that they're going to launch this September. They are probably waiting until they launch the next generation, and they are going to take a bit of a loss before the iPhone 17 Pro cycle ends. But trust me, I do believe the prices are going to increase. I do believe they are going to be steep, like $200 for the iPhone, $150 for the Apple Watch, $100 for the AirPods. This is going to happen. Trust me, Apple hasn't increased their prices on the iPhone for several years now, since 2017, if I'm not wrong. That's almost 10 years. And with inflation and all of that, the iPhone has become much cheaper, because $1,000 today, 2026, are very different than $1,000 in 2017. So yes, expect steep price increases. That's my only prediction for September, and that's for sure. And I know that all of these price increases suck. Apple's stock has fell down like 6% in the last day, and I know we can't do a lot about it, but that's reality. This happens. I'm not mad about Apple. I'm not mad that this happened, because trust me, if Apple hasn't increased the prices, they would be dead by now, because costs of materials, costs of chips, costs of RAM, costs of SSD, they are becoming very, very expensive. The market is becoming very competitive, and these resources are becoming even more scarce. Probably because of AI, probably because of data centers, but this is the reality. We need to accept them. Maybe in the future, we are not going to see this price increase anymore. Maybe in the future, we will. We are not sure. And that's the scary part. But let me know in the comments below what you think about these price increases. I do believe that the base model iPad right now is the best value iPad you can buy. The MacBook Neo has just become an even better value compared to the MacBook Air, even though it's become more expensive. And definitely expect price increases on the iPhones coming this September.